Morning everyone, my name is Audrey. I am Stitchy Witch 42 here on Flosstube and also on Instagram. And this is my channel about cross-stitch life, the universe, and everything. Today is Monday, the 3rd of January, 2022, and this is another one of my random updates because life has been crazy for me the past couple of months. I'll get into that. It's a new year. Christmas is over. The holidays are over. I hope whatever holiday you celebrated, it was the best it could be. We celebrate Christmas, and I was thinking about it this year because over my lifetime, Christmas has changed. You know, growing up with my family, I was the third of 4 children, and my early memories of Christmas is my whole family around the Christmas tree. My mom was German. I do remember one year when we actually had live candles on the Christmas tree. I don't know if they were lit just the one time, but I do remember that. You know, so early Christmas with my parents, with my siblings, and then I got married to my first husband, and Christmas changed, and now not only was I celebrating Christmas with my husband and his family, and then with my family, and then it changed again. I got divorced and I got remarried. I have a new husband, a new family, my family, and it kept evolving. It kept evolving. This year there were changes again. My daughter and son-in-law got divorced. So this year we had to figure out how to do Christmas so that both of them got to have my granddaughters with them. Now, the great thing is that both my daughter and my son-in-law have bought homes here in Silverton. So I still get to see my granddaughters as often as I can, but they're 13 and 14 years old, and so Grandma doesn't get to see them quite as often as Grandma would like. That's okay. Anyway, for Christmas this year we spent the morning over at my daughter's house. Mark took all the stuff over and made a great breakfast. There was Mark, myself, Aaron, the 2 granddaughters, my son Philip, and my daughter's stepmom. She has been part of our Christmas now for the past several years because my ex-husband is still an idiot. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we got to open presents there, we got to play some games there, and then Mark and Philip and I came home, and later on in the afternoon Mark cooked a fantastic prime rib. My daughter Erin and her stepmom Randy came over. The 5 of us had dinner together, and then we played a new version of Monopoly. Now, how many of you who have been following me for any length of time are unaware of the fact that I like Harry Potter? I also like The Hobbit. You know, got a Hobbit door behind me. But I like Harry Potter. And while I don't buy a lot of things from the ads on Facebook, I saw a Harry Potter version of Monopoly. And I thought, you know, I'm going to try. I have been burned buying stuff from ads on Facebook. I know that. I've also found some really good things from ads on Facebook. So I went ahead and I purchased it. And then I waited and waited and waited. And I thought, yeah, I knew I was going to be burned on this one because I really wanted it. But surprisingly, it showed up. This is the Harry Potter version of Monopoly, or as this says, Property of Gringotts. The board is all based on the Harry Potter franchise. Instead of the properties, you've got various wizarding locations. I think Baltic Avenue was replaced with the cupboard under the stairs. Instead of the Chance and Community Chest cards, you have Gringotts cards and Ministry of Magic cards. Instead of the railroads, you have the 4 Hogwarts houses. The 5 of us played this game, and we laughed and we giggled. And there's a twist with this version of Monopoly. If 2 players are on the same spot, the first one can challenge the second one to a wizard's duel. What is a wizard's duel? Why, they both take 1 dice each, toss the dice, whichever one has the higher number wins and gets $200, 200 galleons, from the person they challenged. We laughed, we giggled, I lost my butt. Christmas was great. I'm going to post a little video at the end of this video of the mechanical clock that Mark got for me and Philip put together. I've posted it on my Instagram, so you may have already seen it. We're not going to use it as a clock, but it's cool and I love it so much. So look for that at the end of the video. I want to say thank you to everyone who sent me Christmas cards and to the people who sent me gifts. I don't have all of those with me, so I would just like to say thank you to Lisa, Prims on Greenway, and Vicky, Stitch and Button, Dawn, Frosty X Stitch, Mary, Daydream Stitcher, Michelle, Under the Woolen Willow, yes, I'm looking at my notes, Daylene, so grateful, Michelle, Maine Moose Mom, and Audrey, who on Instagram is the Fancy Froggy. If I've missed anybody, I apologize. Leave a note for me. What can I say? I'm blonde. And sometimes I'm just blonde. Anyway, thank you all so much for thinking of me. The past couple of months of the year have been rather stressful for me. Again, if you've been around for a while, you know that I work for a grocery store. I'm a bookkeeper for a grocery store. I've been with my company for 36 years. I've been a bookkeeper for over 30 of those years. For 4 years I played with the idea of being a manager. And at the end of 4 years realized, yeah, no. And I went back to bookkeeping. I have worked in several different stores, and last October I left the last store that I worked with, which was a 45-minute one-way drive to and from work. And I'd been doing that drive for 20 years. I'm now at the store here in town, and that 2-minute drive to and from work is just so nice. But it's been a stressful transition. This started in October, and I left my last store on the 9th of October. I started this new store on the 22nd of October. And then realized that I was not transitioning well. I was feeling stress, a lot of stress. I was happy to be out of the last store because it had become a very toxic environment. And I was feeling homesick for the people that I've worked with for the past several years. And then I was feeling guilty because the ones that I care about, I was texting with back and forth, and they were telling me that the issues were continuing to the point that another half a dozen people quit the store, quit the company because of the manager there. And while she is under investigation, nothing has happened, and the environment there is still toxic. So now I was feeling guilty because I'm out of there, but they're not. Now the people at the new store have been very nice, very welcoming, and yet I felt out of place because I don't know them. I don't have a relationship with them yet. And the lead bookkeeper at this store. Very nice lady. She's been very accommodating for my needs. She is organized in a much different way than I am used to. And I've been a bookkeeper for 30 years, and her way of doing things is just so vastly different from what I'm used to. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm transitioning. It's good. The other thing is, this store is so much busier because it's only one of 2 stores in town here. So it is busy. It is busy all the time, and customer service has way more traffic than I have ever experienced in 36 years. So it's been much more physical on me, and because I have issues with my legs and my ankles and my feet, I have just been coming home hurting so much. And then add on top of all of that the holiday season. So I've been stressed, and I've been tired, and I've felt homesick, and I felt guilty. It is 2022, it is a new year, and I am going to go forward with a positive attitude that all of this change is going to be for the better. I believe it in my heart, and I think I will eventually get there. So, that's why my videos have been random as of late, and that may continue for a while. It's a transition. And for those of you who have contacted me through Instagram, through instant messaging, through emails, thank you so much. Your support means everything to me. Every comment that is left on my videos, I read and I answer. And I want to say thank you to everybody, because for the past 4 years, you've all been part of my journey. And that means so much to me. So, the reason that I'm here today is because it's a new year. And everybody has been doing the whip parades. So guess what I'm going to do? I don't think mine's going to be nearly as long as some other people, but that's okay. I only have 7 current projects, and that's pretty darn good. I spent some time doing some stats the other day, and I have been keeping record of all my projects for 2021 in this journal. I purchased this journal from Chris Yo, As the Yo Flies. And I'm going to use the same journal for this year too, because the nice thing about Chris's journal is that the signatures inside can be removed. And I was smart and bought a second set last year, so I can use this again this year. So I went through this and I looked to see what I started with. So last year, I think I started the year with 6 projects that I had carried forward from the previous year. Of those 6, 3 of them were completed this year. So I have 3 that I am carrying forward. And the first one is ltimore, which is a compilation between ink circles and Cherrywood crossings. This is my oldest project. I started this in 2019. And this is where it's at. And if you remember, I told you I had some issues because this bat is 1 stitch this way from where it should be. So what I'm going to try to do to correct it is stitch up from the bottom bat here, do the border, and make it work that way. And there's really not that much that's left to be done on this. I should be able to get it finished this year, but I have gone back to my comfort zone of pretty much doing monogamous stitching. So through the holidays, I had brought all my projects up here. I had left my Alphonse Mucha downstairs, and then I would take one other project down with me to work on that one. And that has been working for me. Ltimore has not been one of those projects. So that is my oldest one. My second oldest project is my Alphonse Mucha. And I showed her last time, and she looks exactly the same as she did last time. This is where she is at. This is what she is supposed to look like. And I'm right about here. So I was hoping to have that done within a 2-year time frame. I started it in March of 2020. I'm not even halfway through it yet, so obviously my goal of having it done by March of 2020 this year is not going to happen. But that's okay. I love my Alphonse Muchas. She is the 4th one that I have stitched, and I'm just going to let it take its time. My third project that I carried forward from 2021 is my Stoney Creek Halloween Village Afghan. This was a Sal with Julie from Stitching at the Cabins. And I know that Sal, S-A-L, is supposed to mean stitch along. It's a start along. We started it on the same day. She's doing the Christmas Village from Stoney Creek. Both she and her daughter Alyssa are both doing that. I'm doing the Halloween Afghan. And it's behind me. It's my biggie. This is an Afghan, so it is a 1 3/4 yard length cut of fabric. And I have to stand up to show you this, and I don't think I'm going to get it all in the screen, but here is obviously the top corner. Then we have the center, and if you look there you can see the banner underneath the stars is where I am currently working. And then this is the other corner there. So I have the top completely done. I am working on the second row of pages. I am working on the banner in the center of it, which will spell out Halloween. And each one of those pendants is a lot of stitching. There are 3 shades of yellow in the top of the candy corn banner. There are 3 shades of orange in the center of the candy cane banner. There is the white glow in the dark at the bottom of the banner, and then there is the black from the lettering itself. And I know that third one that I'm working on, somehow I lost a row. And I'm going to leave it because I kept going through and trying to count and count and count and figure out where and after about the 3rd time of doing that, I thought, no. This thing is going to be so huge, and if somebody sees it when it's finished and goes, that banner is 1 row off, okay, I'm good with it. It works. It works. So those are the 3 that I have carried forward from before 2021. The first one was started in 2019, the other 2 were started in 2020. My first project, my first start along of 2021 was with Gail Phillips on Flosstube, and this was a pattern that I saw her show. This is Mandarinks design, Moon-Charm, and my printer made that picture look really, really bad. I am stitching this on a 16 count Cosmos Aida from Bestitch Me. And that is where I am at with this. And I love this. But I haven't worked on it in a long time. But I will. My plan, my goals, I have no new starts planned for this year so far. I'm just going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. But I would like to continue working on these one at a time and try to get as much done on them as I can before I move on to the next project. Right now that feels good to me. All right, my next one that I am carrying forward from last year is my Jim Shore Mill Hill Harvest Trio. And I am stitching this on a 27 count banding. So this is where I'm at with this one. Let's put the board behind it. That might help. This is where I'm at with this one. I've got the pumpkin done. I've got the first bird done. I'm working on the second bird. There's a third bird to do up at the top, and then everything left is beading. And this will be made into a bell pull. I already know I'll be taking this one up to Acorns and Threads and saying, Jolene, can you make it look pretty for me? And she will. She always does. So that's project number 5. Yes. What's in here? Project number 6. I am not a sampler person. I'm not saying that I don't like samplers, but the idea of stitching these things with these huge houses in them, I don't want to stitch houses. Having said that, the Halloween Village Afghan has 2 houses in it. They're huge. But the idea of stitching samplers with houses in it is too repetitive for me. And while I love the alphabets, and I have stitched some things with alphabets in them, not really my jam. But I saw this pattern. I found it on Etsy, and it has a unique name. It's Thistle _ Celtic _ Knot _ Runes by Alice Allen. And I think that this is beautiful. And I started it, and I have it in the Q-snap because it's on a big piece of fabric and I just didn't feel like dealing with that today. This is where I am at with it. I have got some of the knot work done up here. I've got the majority of the runes done up here. And down here is the start of the outline of the thistle leaf. I haven't worked on this for a while. And when I was pulling everything out and I was looking at this, I realized I'm not going to finish this one because this is going to be a big girl. And I don't have wall space in my house for it. So I'm going to offer this one up for adoption. If anybody is interested in it, I will send them all the fabric, all the floss, the pattern, everything. Say Celtic, if it's something that you're interested in, and I will ship anywhere. I think that this is gorgeous, but she is going to be big. The pattern size is 175 by 175. The finish size will be 12.5 inches by 12.5 inches, or 31.75 centimeters by 31.75 centimeters. I don't have any wall space in my house for this one, and while I like it, this one is going to be abandoned. So again, if somebody would like to adopt this one, leave a comment down below, use the word Celtic, C-E-L-T-I-C, and I will do the random comment generator. Alrighty, my last piece, and I don't have the pattern with me. Oh well, there you go. It's Frogwarts Year 2 by the Black Needle Society. And I've actually got quite a bit done on this. I need to finish the basilisk. There's a house on here, the Weasley's house. I think there's something that goes in here, I can't remember what. And then there's supposed to be a border down across the bottom that is supposed to be like the spine of the book. I don't think that I'm going to do that part of the pattern on this, but I am going to make this one into a drum when I finish it. And again, it doesn't have a lot left to do. I just need to do it, but everything's been up here, so I haven't worked on it. That's it. That's the 7 projects that I have. So, like I said, I started 2021. I carried over 6 projects. In 2021, I started 32 projects. And in 2021, I have 32 finishes. So, of those finishes, and I did not bring them all upstairs, there are 3 that are not fully finished. One of them I haven't figured out exactly what I want to do with it. The second one is one that I want to finish for Mardi Gras, and I have an idea for it. I will probably start working on that in the next couple of weeks to try to get it finished before February. And then the last one that I have is one that I want to make into a small pillow, but I have not been in the mood to do any sewing. Of those 32 projects, that also includes the 2 pieces that my granddaughters had started for me back in 2019. The Witch's Brew that I made into the coffee and tea canisters. So I included both of those as part of my count of my 32 finishes. And then my last finish. I have talked about the pub, the little Irish pub that we have here in town, and it's a cute little place, and it hasn't been very busy because of COVID, but they serve great food, and Mark and I enjoy the atmosphere there, so we go there usually once a week. They're only open Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, but you know, it's kind of nice to go out and have someplace quiet that has good food, and we've enjoyed chatting with the bartender there. And I think I told you he had found a piece of cross stitch. I looked at it again when I was there the last time. I think it is all cross stitch. There might be some specialty stitches in it, but it looks like the majority of it is cross stitch, but it also looks like it's done with a pearl cotton rather than floss. He found that at a junk shop, an estate sale, something, but it's a Celtic kind of themed sampler, and he has it hanging on the wall. And he asked me if I would want to stitch something for the restaurant. So I went online, I went to Hirschner's and found this. Somebody was asking me about it, and they said that when they went to Hirschner's they couldn't find it. I looked it up by the name and found an image and went backwards from there, and that's how I found it. This is, excuse me if I'm saying it wrong because Gaelic is not my first language, Caed Mila Falcha, 100,000 welcomes. And this is my finish on Caed Mila Folcha. So I have the frame for it. It's going to be framed like this, and I'm going to get this done hopefully this week so that I can take it down to the Irish pub and they can hang it on the wall. And when they do, I'm sure that I will get a photo of it and I will post that on Instagram. Alrighty. I think that's everything. I have no plans for starting anything new. Like I said, right now I'm just trying to give myself time and space to adjust, to get past the holiday season, to get more in tune with my new store, and just move forward. This morning, so it's been a couple of hours since I started my video, and I was downstairs and I was watching it, realized the camera had cut off as it does. I think it might be time to invest in a new camera because this one records for about half an hour and then automatically shuts itself off. Not a big deal. I've been dealing with that for a couple of years now. What's getting to me is the fact that it's eating up batteries like crazy. Just like crazy. Anyway, I didn't like the end of my video. So I decided to come back up here. I'm still in the library. I'm back behind my desk where I usually sit. It's been raining like crazy the last couple of days, and we had huge winds here yesterday. Does that have anything to do with my video? No. No, not at all. Anyway, so I think what I was talking about was a word for the year. Last year, my word was enough. Enough. I have enough stuff. And I wanted to curb my spending on stitching supplies because I don't need to have so much. So enough was a good year, or enough was a good word for last year. And I was trying to figure out what word to use for this year. And my snarky, sarcastic brain came up with 0. As in, I have 0 to give. And there was a part of me that liked that. But there was another part of me that realized that that was just being too cynical. And no, I can't use the word 0 for my word for the year. But then I started thinking about some conversations that I've been having over the past couple of months because of the change from one store to another. And 3 conversations come to mind. One is with a former coworker, one was with a new coworker, and one was with a friend. And all 3 of them said that I need to give myself grace. The grace to make this transition happen and to get through it and give myself space and time. That's something that's hard for me. I think I'm harder on myself mentally than maybe other people are, and I don't know why I'm this way. I just want to do things the way they're supposed to be done, and I want things to go smoothly, and that doesn't always happen because we're human. But I thought about it, and if these 3 separate people are going to tell me that I need to give myself grace, that's really a good word. And I think that I would like to use that word as my gift to everyone out there too. we need to give ourselves grace. We've been through a lot worldwide over the past 2 years. Our worlds were turned sideways, dumped upside down. We're trying to find our way to go forward. We've had to become solitary people, staying within our small family complexities. Yet we crave interaction with other people. And maybe it's a combination of all of that for the last couple of years that has kind of hit me in these past couple of months and made me totally stress out. I don't know. My word for this year is grace. I'm going to give myself grace. I'm going to give myself time to transition from one store to another. I'm going to give myself grace to do what I need to do to make myself happy. And that's what I'm hoping for all of you too. I hope that with all the changes that everybody has had to face in the past 2 years, that we can all give ourselves the grace to find our own happiness and do what makes us happy, be with who makes us happy, do the work that makes us happy, stitch the things that make us happy. Is it a good word? Right now I think it is. Anyway, I shared my whip parade with you. There was only 7 projects on it. Again, I want to give up the Celtic knot piece. It's a beautiful piece, but I just don't have the wall space for it. And so if somebody is willing to adopt that from me, use the word Celtic in a comment down below. Be a subscriber, like the video, be over 18, don't say giveaway, do all the things. And until next time, which again will be random because I'm giving myself grace. Live long and stitch on, my friends. Bye-bye.